I got the heater core here that's been bad for years, and I bypassed everything. So I have no heat in the truck, but I got a new heater control valve here. So today I'm gonna pull out that heater core and try to get the heater going, get the parts ordered, and yeah, see if we could get some more stuff fixed while we wait for this gearbox to come in. So here we go. Gonna start yanking this guy out. So from what I've read is you take this box out and the heater core's inside this housing. There's just some bolts around the outside to get it off. So it's just these 3 bolts under the hood to get the housing loose from the firewall, which is right there. So I'm gonna start by loosening those. I've already had everything bypassed, so no need to drain any coolant or anything. I'm just gonna take those bolts off. And then apparently this whole unit here comes down and you're able to access the cables that are attached to the heater control system, which is right there. You can kind of see through my radio hole. And then I'll be able to pull everything out, disconnect the cables, pull everything down, and remove the core. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna start by removing these 3 bolts here on the firewall. They're 7/16. They all have washers there with them, so you can catch those. Now we're gonna go inside the truck. Another thing to add is my truck has dealer installed aftermarket AC. This was not from factory. You could tell by the heater controls. There's no air conditioning controls on there. Got separate controls. So just FYI, these boxes and cores are a little different when you have factory AC. So this stuff will not apply to you. So apparently this box should shimmy down. So try to work on that, and probably got to disconnect this vent here. So I'm gonna shimmy the box down, and yeah, we'll go from there. So it looks like once upon a time somebody took all the bolts out of this little side vent here. So I'm gonna wiggle this thing out of here, and then hopefully I'll be able to get to everything else. So it appears that my heater box is actually tucked behind the AC control box. So I'm gonna loosen this thing up, see if I can get some more play to get this thing out without taking this all the way apart. So cross fingers, here we go. So that wasn't as bad as I thought. Just 2 little screws holding on to the top of the dash. 2 more screws on that side up to that bracket, which I just unhooked from there because it's all pinched under this dash bracket. So just unhooked it, and now everything's all free and loose, and this has plenty of room to come out now. So try to monkey this thing out now. It's like my vents aren't even attached, but oh well, here we go. Try to get this thing out now. Alrighty, so yeah, all the YouTube videos I watch are correct. This thing just seriously falls on out. This was the only thing that was holding it in. So looks like I gotta disconnect these cables here, which I'm gonna take note of how they are on so I don't mix them up trying to get them back together. Clean this whole unit up. I'm gonna pull it out. I think there's some power wires connected to this guy, the blower motor. Unhook the damper cables that go to the heater controls, and yeah, I'll pull the whole unit out and then clean everything up and get it back together. So before disconnecting everything, I just wanted to be sure I'm gonna have everything hooked back up the way it was. So I marked this cable with a piece of tape. That's gonna be my damper on the left side, and I'm gonna go ahead and Sharpie right here where the cable needs to be clamped on. So I have a basic idea of where to put this clamp back on when I go to put it back together. So do that on both cables just to save a headache later. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have trouble with it or not, but better safe than sorry. And I did turn it to the off position and make sure that both of these are in their correct position, so I'll put it back together the same way. So I'm just gonna take these little nuts off, slide the cables off and pull the whole unit off. All right, and also I did notice this little electrical connector back here. I'll unplug that. That looks like it's all wired to the blower motor and this little plug. So now I'm disconnected electrical from the blower, so that's all freed up and I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, just gonna disconnect these two cables and we should have the whole unit out. All right, so we got these disconnected and the whole unit's freed up. And now we should be able to take this guy apart and get to this heater core, clean it up too. So I got all the screws loose and open sesame. Here's our little heater core. Little blower motor. So yeah, I'm gonna get this all cleaned up. Get my heater core ordered. Probably order one from Rock Auto. They have some in stock. And then yeah, get this thing back together. Try to clean a lot of this off. Maybe even shoot some Rust-Oleum on it. We'll see. So I got my box all taken apart and cleaned up and painted. Did my little air louver vent too. Looking nice. All right, so I got the heater control valve hooked up. I put it all the way to the off position where the cable is fully extended and attached it, locked it down there with that little screw. And now I went inside and I also put some WD-40 up on this cable just to help lube it up. It was kind of bind it up. So now I got it so where this is nice and smooth. And also I threw some WD-40 on this little area here to get these little gears moving smoothly. Also these cables that actuate the dampers, I threw some WD-40 on those guys and everything seems to be actuating real nice as it should. So just got to get the heater core back installed. I got the box painted back here, sitting back there drying. And we'll have some heater going up in this truck. So moving along. Coming along pretty nicely. Get some heater hoses attached to this guy, then we'll be ready to rock. So I got the new heater core in today. This is the old one. Old one's a little fatter, made out of brass of course. This one's a little aluminum, but the hoses all match up and looks good. So I'm gonna get this popped into the housing and get the housing back into the truck. The new one also came with these foam pads that I'm not really sure where they fit on this thing, if they go on the side or whatnot, but I peeled the old pads off the old one and I'm just gonna put these back on and reuse these little spacers. So yeah, not sure, I might use them. So I got the cover back off and this little foam pad just sits right on top of this, really nice. Even though it's kind of old, it's still nicer than the foam that they sent with it. It fits nice and snug. And so this guy just slides right in here. And there it actually blows. I'm gonna put the cover back on, get it stuck back in the truck, get the cables back attached, and it should have some heat. So we get some heater hose. So this is the setup I went with. I stuck the original pad on and then used the other two little foam pads for like little vibration isolators. So yeah, I utilized them. Looks nice, and you stick it in like that. Alright, so I got the unit back in the truck, getting the cables back reattached. Got my marked off lines, so I'm going to attach those to where I marked them off, put the dampers back in the position they need to be. I taped this hole off because my hose ripped, so I need to buy a new hose because it's not long enough. So going to just get it attached, one hole blocked off. I'll get some hose and get that reattached here later. So yeah. So I believe I got the cables hooked up correctly. When I'm in my off position, it's closed. Flip to on. Opens the damper. closes that one. Okay, so I just attached the hose back. It has this little clip. You just pop it, little tabs, and it snaps on and holds it on a little snug. Gonna get a new hose for that guy, so I'm just gonna stuff that back up in the dash and reattach that later. So I'm gonna get it all positioned up in there and get the holes lined up. I got the little heat isolator stuck back on there that was on there originally, so I'm gonna line that all back up, get it all bolted in. Here we go. Oh, and I need to plug my fan back in. But yeah. All right, so I got it mounted back. I put this little hose back onto this part. I want to order a new one. This is kind of dry rot and shitty, but that goes between the heater core itself and the outside air. So got it all mounted. Got the hoses popping through. 3 mount screws back on. Bada bing, bada boom. Just gotta attach some hoses now. We got heat. So back in the truck, I'm gonna get this air handling unit for the air conditioner hung back on the dash and get this part popped back in. And we should be good to go in here. All right, so I got the AC mounted back up. Got the vent back installed. Fresh heater core. Just gotta get some hoses attached. New heater control valve. Sweet. So yeah, I got the controls working good now. Dampers are working good. Fan motor's cranking on. All the different speeds work. Oh yeah. All right, so here we are. Got the heater finally back in. Kind of sucked. I had to put everything back together and went to go test for power, and my blower motor wasn't coming on. Turns out I ended up painting the unit, as you can see, and I ended up painting over the ground screw. I don't know if that was my issue. It probably was. And I know this this switch right here was having some issues with this little electrical connector inside the dash here, so I kind of messed with that and fixed that, and I got the blower to work again. So I put everything back together, had to rehang the AC, and yeah, everything went together nice. So I got the heater hoses hooked up, got the heater control valve hooked up properly, and I just routed the hoses the cleanest way possible. Brought the outside hose in through here to the water pump. The inside hose comes right up here to the intake. Inlet and outlet does not matter on these old trucks, does not matter. So yeah, I got the heater control valve actuating correctly, working right, got all the hoses hooked up, and got the blower motor working. So yeah, we got some heat in this truck. It's pretty pumped. Turned out pretty nice. I gotta reroute this fuel line hose. I'm gonna route it underneath and just button things up, but other than that, came out nice. Pretty excited. I got some heat going now, so just waiting for the box to put the power steering back together, and then she'll be roadworthy again. So stay tuned for that video. I'll be posting a video of the unboxing of the new redhead gear and the install of that puppy. So yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and comment, subscribe. Take it easy.